You are listening to How to Get Over Your Ex, episode number 258, Scared of Being Alone After 28 Years of Marriage. Welcome to How to Get Over Your Ex, a podcast on getting over your ex without it just taking time. I'm your host, breakup coach Dorothy. Let's turn your pain into power and your heartbreak into happy. Hello, beautiful brave hearts. How is everyone doing today? I am so excited to be here. I have special guest Keisha is here with me today. She signed up and did the Get Over Your Ex course. So she went through the curriculum only version of our programming. And I'm just so excited to have her on. She reached out via email and we chatted, and I was watching her progress throughout her course material, and it was just so fun. So Keisha, thank you so much for coming on. I'm very excited to have you here.
Thanks for having me, Dorothy.
Yes. All right. So why don't you just start out, give us like some basics of where are you starting from? What was your breakup journey? What led you to signing up for the course? Like what was the start of your breakup journey?
So my husband
Hmm.
and I, we separated after 28 years.
Wow.
Yeah, and it was very sudden. Like, we were on a roller coaster, up and down, up and down. We'd have problems and we thought that we fixed them, right? And so we just kept trying, and he moved out. He got his own apartment and he was like, I'm tired of being on this roller coaster. And I want to, in the beginning, right? I wanted to say I didn't see it coming, but it was coming, right? It,
Hmm.
it was eventually going to lead there. And so devastated. I was devastated. Like,
Yeah.
I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. Like, 6 kids later, 11 grandkids later, our 17-year-old he's about to graduate from school and go off and do his thing. We're about to be empty nesters and the marriage is over. And so devastated. And so I found you, right? I was on Facebook and you just popped on there, and it's like, how do you get over your ex? How do you live the bigger and better life for yourself? And first I started following you and listening to the podcast. Like, I did those podcasts like homework, right? I do
Love that.
2 or 3 of them a day if I could. And then you offered your first 5 day, I call it like a master class,
Yeah.
right? Where
100%.
um really giving the tools to, hey, this is how you get over your ex and build your bigger and better life, even if you still want to be with your ex,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah.
Um, and for me, when I saw that disclosure, because I held space for a really long time. And I'm like, I can do this even if I still want to be with him.
Hmm.
Like, that was it for me. And so I did the 5 day course, and then I took the opportunity to do the curriculum only course. And so it's
Yeah.
my Bible. I have my Bible. So
Yes, I love it. So good.
yeah,
So
yeah.
28 years, that's a long time. And I think something when you were talking that kind of came up for me that I was curious about for your journey is, uh, uh, was there anything there about, we spent 28 years together, we've had kids, we now have grandkids. I feel like that is like the hardest chunk, or at least in my mind, right? I don't know, I haven't lived that experience yet, but I'm like, that feels like the hardest part. And then you're getting to this place where you're about to, the last child is leaving the house. And were you excited about having kind of like almost like a recoupling or being empty nesters together? Did you have a vision and an idea as to like how you guys wanted to spend that time together? And did that feel like it was taken away when he decided to leave? Or what were your thoughts, or what was your mindset around that?
Well, most definitely, I had thoughts about how we were going to live life, right? Like, after the kids were gone and it's
Yeah.
just be me and him. And All of that just like burned in flames.
Mm-hmm.
Because in the beginning of the breakup, it was really hard because like this is my best friend. This is somebody that I've spent all my time with, made all my decisions with, like things that I thought of doing on my own. Like I checked in him with, I was really dependent upon him.
Yeah.
And so with the separation, it was like the fear, like you're all alone now. And I felt like really like I didn't know how to do anything for myself, anything without him.
Mm.
So yes, the thoughts of what I was gonna miss out on, were, it made me really angry, but I was also very scared. Like I
Mhm.
was terrified.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially 28 years having someone to check in on, having someone to like help make joint decisions with. It never really felt like you were alone making a decision. You're like, oh, I'm making this decision. I have this to fall back on. And then not having that kind of taken that and having that like pulled away.
Mhm.
So
Yeah,
wild. So
it
what do
was
you
crazy.
think? I would love to know, what do you feel like you get to so you've been listening to the podcast, you then did the 5-day training. As you kind of ventured into the course, what do you feel like was one of your biggest struggles? Like as you were starting to dive in, like as you were starting to do this work, what do you feel like you struggled most with in the beginning of your breakup?
Um, in the beginning of the breakup, it was really my thoughts about the breakup,
Mm, yeah.
right? Um, all the reasons why the breakup happened. In the beginning, I couldn't grasp that this was happening for me. That it like I was just 100% convinced that this was happening to me because of all the things that I did in the relationship that, I had perceived were wrong, right?
Yeah.
The things that he, told me that he wanted and that I didn't give to him. There was so much truth in that,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And so that was really hard
Yeah.
because those were lies that I was telling myself, right? As I, did the work and figured it on, they were lies. It wasn't true.
Yeah. How do you remember how you kind of realized it wasn't true?
When I started doing some work on myself,
Mm-hmm.
like when I really started digging into myself and doing the journal prompts
Mm-hmm.
and giving myself really the space to feel the feelings that I was running from that I didn't want to feel.
Yeah.
And realizing that, oh my gosh, girl, you've never really given yourself the grace to feel anything. Things just happen and you just kind of, it's like falling down and hurting your knee. You just brush it off and you pick yourself up and you keep on going instead of saying, something that actually hurt and I need to give it some first aid.
Oh,
So I had to give myself some first aid.
girl, yes.
Very uncomfortable. That was very uncomfortable at first.
Yeah. How did you move? I mean, okay, so I love that you said at first, like it was very uncomfortable at first. What did you do specifically that helps you get to this place of like, it sounds like it's no longer uncomfortable to give yourself the first aid?
I had to change my thoughts about things. Like I really had to change how I looked at things. One of the biggest things that I took away as well is, sometimes you can really believe things that maybe aren't necessarily true if it serves you. If it
Yeah.
serves you and it makes you the better you and helps you on your journey to do what it is that you need to do for you.
Mhm.
There's no malice in that,
I love that. Is
and
there something that you did that you believed that necessarily wasn't seemingly true to you yet?
to him, like in the relationship.
And after the relationship, in the breakup, like as you're moving through this and you realize, oh my gosh, I can believe something that isn't seemingly true. was there a thought or a belief that you had that you started to believe that it was super helpful in your journey?
Well, I could think of all kind of things that was wrong with me and why he left me, right? And why
Mhm.
he didn't want to work on the relationship and work on the commitment that we made to each other. But I had to realize like those are lies. Like people get to live whatever life it is that they want to live, and they should be able to live whatever life it is that's best for him. And none of these things that you're seeing about yourself are correct.
Mhm.
Like he made a decision, just like you're making a decision to get over him. He made a decision to live the kind of life that he wants to live for himself. And you're no longer a part of that. And that's all him.
Mm,
It
yeah.
doesn't mean that anything is wrong with you.
Okay, mic drop for a second. Did everyone just hear that? Did everyone just hear what Keisha said? Doesn't have
Yeah.
anything to do with you, right?
Mm-mm.
Like that doesn't mean there's anything wrong with you just because someone else made a decision. That's
Yeah.
huge.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love
It
that.
took me a long time to get to that because he was disloyal. Oh my gosh. He betrayed me. Oh, he was never loved me, never loved the family. It was all a facade. Who is this guy? Who is this character that I've been with? And, you know, at the end of the day, he's just another hurting individual trying to find his way.
Isn't that crazy? I mean, isn't it crazy too to go from two very different ends of the spectrum? Like
Mhm.
the story that you just gave, and then like, and he's also a hurting person. Like, it's just, I mean, isn't it also releasing and like relieving and freeing to like view it in
Mhm.
that way? You
Most
just
definitely.
feel better.
You do,
So,
you have peace and you can continue to work on yourself, right?
mhm,
Because, I've learned that it's a continuous journey. You don't get to this aha moment like I made it. Well, you're better, right? You have the tools, your lens, the lens are not on, it's like the blinds are open and you can see out, you
yeah,
know,
you can't
but you
unsee what you see. Yeah.
exactly. But you really still have to continue to do the work on yourself because that's the only person you can control, right?
Yeah, absolutely. 100%. So tell me a little bit about what were the main aha moments that you had that moved you towards your bigger and better life?
Well, number one, I was totally attached to him. I was
Mm-hmm.
totally attached to him and being with him,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yep.
Um, and then a lot of moments I had, Dorothy was actually doing things for myself and being like things I've never done before for myself. Like I had never recently, like I've never traveled before, right? I went to St. Pete, Florida a couple of weeks ago. I made my own flight. I got my own room. And I didn't do anything but sit on the beach, maybe have a drink here and there. Um, Breakfast and dinner. Like I was in the room by 9:30 every night.
Mm-hmm.
But the whole point is that I was able to do that for myself and enjoy being by myself without anybody doing it with me.
Yes, so good. That is so huge. I'm so happy for you. That is amazing. That's so helpful in
Yeah.
terms of like reducing attachment, right? Of
Mhm.
wow, when I can show myself that I can do this on my own, that I don't absolutely need this person to do these things, it's
Mhm.
amazing.
It is. It was very fulfilling. It boosted my confidence big time.
Yeah. Oh,
Big
I
time.
love that. So good.
Other aha moments are, I was very like dependent upon him. Like, I mean, he was the head of the household. And so, like, financial stuff, all right, I didn't too much worry about it. Like, he took care of everything. And when he left, I had to take care of myself.
Yeah.
And that was scary because I'm like, oh my gosh, how am I going to do this? Well, I got a full-time job
Mhm.
and I did it. And so now I am paying all of my bills. Nobody's chipping in and saying, hey, let me pay this for you. No, I'm paying everything and I'm doing it. And I've been doing it.
So proud of you. Congratulations, Boo. That's a huge feat, right? Of like
Yeah.
learning, like, I have the skill of making money. I have the
Yeah.
skill of taking care of myself. I have these skill sets and I can do it, right?
Yeah.
So proud of
Yeah.
you. So tell me, Keisha, is there something that you would share? Like, let's pretend someone's listening and they are you 3, 4 months ago.
Mhm.
I want you to think about that person, and I want to ask you, is there anything that you would share with that person? Any words of wisdom, any advice?
I would say that I would promise them it's going to be okay.
Yeah.
It's going to be okay. Change how you view what's happening to you. Like anything that happens in your life is happening for you. It's not happening to you if you can view it that way. And know that the things that you're experiencing, they're lessons even when they don't feel good. They're lessons even when they don't feel good. It will make you better.
Mhm.
It will make you better.
Yeah,
And so feel it, like feel it. Go through the motions and feel it and live it and experience it. Because the other side is going to be okay. Everything is happening for us. It's not happening to us. It's happening for our good.
I love that. I think the words "it's going to be okay" couldn't be said enough when you're really in the thick of it. Like
Yeah.
anytime I'm in the thick of it, all I want to hear is like, "It's gonna be okay. I
Yeah.
promise you it's gonna be okay." I love
Yeah.
that. So what's next for you? Can you share what's next for you in terms of your bigger and better life? What are you working towards?
Um, I was me and my son, we were displaced. And we are looking for a new home to settle. We had a tragedy at our house and we had to leave, right? And so just getting situated and getting centered again. Or maybe not even again. This might be our the new thing that's happening, right?
Right? Your new bigger and better.
My new bigger and better. Yeah, just
Amazing.
continuing to work on me,
Yeah.
Dorothy, like, and being open to whatever it is that is going to come, and not being so focused on a future that I don't even know has happened yet or is going to happen yet, and just being able to just maneuver my present and enjoy that.
I love that. So there you cannot, what's the word? Like there's a word for this. I can't think of what it is, Keisha, but like I feel like the present moment can be so underrated sometimes. And I'm like,
Hmm.
the more present you are, the more joy there is, there more enjoyment in whatever it is that you're doing there is. I love the present moment. So good.
Yeah, yeah. I'm loving it too, girl. I'm loving it too.
Well, thank
Yeah.
you so much, Keisha. We appreciate you. We appreciate your time. I know everyone listening is going to love your story and just be so inspired by it. So thank you. I hope you have an amazing day. And again, we appreciate you.
Thank you, Dorothy. Thank you. I appreciate you. You've
Oh.
created a monster.
Yeah. I kind of love that though. So good. If you're loving the How to Get Over Your Ex podcast and you want to learn how to get over your ex in 3 months or less to build a life better than the one you thought you had with your ex, I would like to personally invite you to my next group course where we take everything you've learned here on the podcast and apply it to your life. Come check it out at www.lifecoachdorothy.com.